Greetings, everybody. So in this short video, we're going to show how to use LaTeX interpretation for Matlab images. Now, in the default setting, when you plot a figure and you use, some labels on the X, Y axis and on the legend, traditionally Matlab interprets it as simple text. So this is okay overall, but in some situations you may want to change that and have some more, detailed information, and you ideally may want to have this, include some sort of even simplistic equations or some simple equation formatting. And you can do that, but you need to tell LaTeX to interpret the text as a LaTeX text. So let's, start with some simple uh, code right here. I have a very simple code to plot the cosine of t over 3 and the sine of t squared. So let's plot this very simplistic code. I have x, y labels and some legend. And as you have seen probably from a previous video, I have also changed the font size to 12, so to have a larger font, and also changed the weight into bold. So let's plot this. So this is the final graph. The fonts are a bit larger, which is a good thing, but there is some problems here. Okay. First of all, you will notice that LaTeX can do some basic interpretation in formatting. For example, here that I have sine squared, LaTeX interprets it very, very well. And actually, let me change specifically this font for the legend to 24, which is a bit larger. And you can see that this formatting is not exactly the formatting that I want. For example, the variable t here represents time and f of t is a function, but these are actually variables and functions, and the way they are interpreted here is simple text. I want them to be interpreted as mathematical formulas. So the styling is a bit different, as you know, from mathematics. They have an italics font. It's, as you know, slightly different. You may know that from LaTeX as well, or even Microsoft Word. And the same thing here, sine squared looks fine, but the t over 3 doesn't look right. It's t slash 3, but I want it to look like a fraction, right? So I need to change that in order to tell LaTeX to interpret them, in order to tell Matlab, I'm sorry, to interpret them as mathematical formulas. And if I do that, I can actually include more information in the legends and more mathematical expressions. So this is very easy to do, actually. I'm going to replace these commands here with these commands right here. So these commands have a a slightly different structure. First of all, to let Matlab know that I'm going to use mathematics, I need to use $signs inside the string. This is very common, as you know, in LaTeX. When we want to use mathematical formulas, we include them inside $signs. Okay, so now t, f to t, and so on is going to be interpreted as a mathematical formula. And by doing so, I can actually include more mathematical commands. For example, here in the Y legend, I have /in, which, as you know, is the belongs sign. And I also have /mathbf, which is the boldface command. And generally, you can use any of the basic Matlab commands that don't require any extra package. So for example, instead of sine and cos, I have /cos, /sine, which are the LaTeX commands for cosine and sine. And also for the fraction, I don't write t over 3. I write /frac, which is the fraction command, t in the numerator, 3 in the denominator. So after I do that and I put everything in $signs, I need to also tell Matlab to interpret this using LaTeX. So I use /comma interpreter LaTeX in every single command. Okay, so comma interpreter LaTeX here, here, and here. So let me plot the result. I also have these extra codes, okay, for bold and larger fonts. And this is the result. Okay, let's put them side by side. And also, let me please make this font a little bit larger so you can see the difference. Nice. So let's put it right here, and let's put this thing right here. And you can immediately see the difference, right? So t and f of t are now interpreted using mathematics. It also is able to interpret the belongs sign and the mathbf r. So the function f of t belongs to r. And also, as you can see right here, cosine and sine are interpreted mathematically. And here, instead of having t over 3, I have a fraction representation of t over 3 in the correct formula. And this is just an example. Remember, any of the basic LaTeX commands that don't require any extra packages can be identified by Matlab. So this code is extremely simple. You can simply copy paste it in your own figures, and you will have much better results when preparing figures for papers, conferences, thesis, or whatever. Okay, so this is very simple. I'm going to put this in the comment of in the description of the video. I'm sorry. And any other questions that you have, you can write it down in the comments and I will reply. So very easy and the result is amazing, right?